Welcome in to the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard Show. Get ready for all the scores and recaps from tonight's games. Let's throw it over to the boys from Northwest Georgia Football, Lawrence Morgan and Benton Burge.
The boys, huh?
The boys, welcome in to the tongue twister, the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard. We're back for another year, Lawrence.
I think this is year number 8.
Yeah, year number 8.
Time flies, huh?
Yeah, and first week of the season never seems to disappoint. We don't pick anything right. All these upsets, blowouts that we never saw coming. So that's just high school football for you. But
yeah, I got kind of worried after last night, man, because everything kind of went by the book. You know, there wasn't any upsets. Everything just went like it was supposed to. But man, all kind of crazy games tonight.
I was going to say you knew better than that. Anything that kind of just jumps right off the paper at you before we get into the scoreboards?
Yeah, I'll tell you the one thing that jumped out to me. I had to actually confirm that this score was correct. But yeah, Mr. Hart, Rockmart Yellow Jackets, man, they beat Cedartown tonight 56-7. They were up 53-7 at halftime.
Man, we watched Rockmart play. We thought Rockmart was going to be very good, definitely competing or maybe even winning that region again. I didn't see putting 56 on Cedartown. I don't care what shape Cedartown's in. 56 is a huge feat, and tip of the cap to the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. So somebody texted me and said the freshman quarterback there, Tucker Parson, had 4 touchdown passes and 211 yards in the first half.
Man, putting up the yardage. All righty, well, we've got just about everything. It seems like we'll go ahead and jump into the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard. We did have some games last night, if you were out and about, Thursday night games. South Paulding was defeated by Kell 44-21. Ringgold beats Dade County last night 38-7. Northwest Whitfield defeats Coahulla Creek 35-13. And Cartersville blanked Columbia last night 44-0. Also, this game actually might have happened tonight, but Woodland and Stockbridge 48 over Woodland, Cartersville 13. Rest of these were definitely on Friday night. Woodward Academy was defeated by Carrollton 48-21. I think we had a late fourth quarter score or a late score out of the wrong game. I don't have it written down, but I'm sure somebody will help us out with that. If there's a final yet, let us know. I'm sure you can go over to John McClellan's Twitter page and he'll have an update. We'll check that in a second. Also, we're looking for a North Paulding Parkview final. Last we had was 21-13. North Paulding was up, and I believe that was the second quarter. I think we have a 48-28 Creekside with a minute left, so I'll write that down. 48-28 Creekside. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Let's see here. Moving on down, Troup County defeats Villarica 42-31. That sounds like a high-scoring battle. Central Carroll defeats Spalding 37-0. Altoona gets a big win 28-0 over Adairsville. The Grangers of LaGrange, I believe they played the day game down there at Barron Stadium. They defeat Cass 27-7. Late fourth quarter score, Hiram was defeating Paulding County 23-6, looking for a final there. Gordon Central defeats Southeast Whitfield in overtime 27-14. North Murray hangs on to beat Dalton at a game that you were at that we'll talk about later, 49-42. These teams putting up a ton of points. Speaking of a ton of points, the aforementioned Rockmart Yellow Jackets with a 56-7 win at Cedartown. I mean, that speaks volumes to getting it done. Cherokee Bluff defeats Lumpkin County 31-21. The Battle of the Dragons, Pickens goes to Pepperell and wins in a close one, 28-20. It sounded like a battle all game. I was checking on that one. It was kind of back and forth. I think Pickens led most of the game, but real close game. Rayburn County, 42-6 over White County. The Yellow Jackets from Calhoun gets a 28-3 win over Creekview. I believe Creekview was one of the teams that beat them last year before they made their big run to the state championship. Gilmer County, a 42-24 win at Fannin. I don't know. I'd have to check in the regular season when the last time Fannin lost at home. That'd be an interesting thing to see. It's been a while. I can tell you that. Heritage 51, Christian Heritage 13. A big win for Heritage there. The Ramblers, the Lafayette Ramblers, 25-0 over Chattooga, gets the shutout, and they were wild tonight. I was at that game. We'll talk about that game a little more later. Lakeview Fort Overthorpe defeats Ridgeland 40-0. Murray County gets a big win, 14-3 over Towns. North Cobb Christian holds on to beat Providence 35-14. Sonoraville pulls away and defeats Model 42-20. Darlington was beating Mount Vernon 21-6. I believe it was the end of the first quarter, and they were delayed. I think they had some storm delays, and then Mount Vernon does not have lights, so they will play the rest of the game tomorrow. Haralson County, this one might have been a slight upset. A 34-7 win over Mount Pisgah. Actually, that's a fourth quarter score, but we're looking for a final there. I'm sure we'll find something there soon. Heard County with a 49-6 win over Clarkston. Fourth quarter score here. Last we had Temple 69, McNair 40. So track meet out at Temple tonight. Next one, the longest withstanding rivalry in Georgia high school football. Trine traveled to Gordon Lee. Gordon Lee gets a 23-12 win in this one. Gordon Lee wins. Fellowship Christian defeats three-time defending state champ Bowden Red Devils 26-0. Mount Zion gets a win 27-6 at Chattahoochee County.
Yeah, I'll give a quick shout out to my man Jacob Carlton. He's my Thomas County Central buddy.
Okay.
And if a team from North Georgia doesn't win it, man, I am a TCC fan this year for sure.
It seemed like when we looked at it that TCC might match up against Rome again, depending on the matchups. You know, that'd be another epic one.
Yeah, it's going to be either Thomas County Central or Lee County coming up here, second round. That is, if Rome wins that region.
Yeah. We're one game in, Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake says, what a wild first week. Rome blows a 21-point lead. Now they're down by 21. Bowden gets shut out on the road. Rockmart wins at Cedartown by 50. And Murray County goes on the road and starts 1-0.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I'm not as surprised as Murray County getting the win as, keep going back to it. Just, the way Rockmart, beat Cedartown. But anyway, there'll be plenty more of those rivalry games. And that'll just add a little salt in the wound right there. The big win like that. Yeah, big man. We were kind of shocked too, but yeah, it was a 0. Yeah, 26-0.
Yeah, I'll tell you one of the things that stands out to me looking at those scores, man, is how tough is that 6A going to be? The South region, Heard County, a big win. Bremen was off this week, but we saw them versus Rockmart a couple of weeks ago. You've got Temple putting up 69 tonight. Darlington 21 first quarter points. Pepperell hanging with Pickens. Haralson County with a big win.
Yeah, Haralson with a win. I mean, the Ramblers Well, Lafayette's in 3A, but excuse me, you're talking about the single A. Let's see who else is in there. Model is not going to be a pushover. They're going to battle like they did, and you got the Phoenix that put up 42 points tonight. Crazy, man. Let's see what we got going on here.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about the game I was at tonight, man. It had to be probably one of the most impressive single-person performances I've seen in the last few years, man. Hudson Hewlett, quarterback athlete at North Murray. He had 25 carries for like 350 yards. Had 80 yards receiving, at least 80 yards passing. Accounted for 6 touchdowns. And the guy's only like 5'10", 180.
He's slippery though, is he not?
Yeah, he kind of reminded me of another guy that used to play it.
Oh,
I don't want to make comparisons, man, but
don't do it.
The guy was playing free safety on defense. He never came off the field, man. He held on the extra points. Man, I tell you what though, the quarterback at Dalton wasn't outshone though, man. Kane Woods, sophomore, he was 13 of 20 for 312, 6 touchdowns.
Hey, Dalton's got that thing going in the right direction. I'm telling you right now, they may be 0-1, but they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough one. You're not just going to roll up to Dalton and get an easy W this year. I'll tell you that. Not that you have in the past, but
they got a tough one coming up. They got a tough one coming up next Friday, man. They're going to hop on the buses and go down to North Oconee.
Whoo! Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm sure they'll go down there and give it their best and see what they can come up with. I was at the Chattooga Lafayette game tonight. It was 6-0 all the way to the beginning of the second half. Lafayette they threw 2 interceptions inside the Chattooga 20-yard line, or I guess you could say Chattooga intercepted the ball inside their own 20-yard line. And, Lafayette kind of, I guess they handled the line of scrimmage better, and I think that's what ultimately won the game. They were able to run the ball with the fullback up the middle, get yards at times, and then they were able to get outside a few times. Chattooga offensively, they could get 5 yards on a carry and then have a penalty and then come back. The game seemed like it took forever because there was, I don't know if they were just dropping them out of their pockets on accident, but there were so many yellow flags. From anything from formation penalties to legal man downfield. It seemed like to at least 50% of the plays tonight had a flag on it, which definitely slows the game down. But, if it's a penalty, it's a penalty. But and then in the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes to go or 10 minutes to go or however much time there was because the clock was messed up. So everybody and their brother's confused. They don't know how much time is on the clock. Finally they started announcing it every now and then. They'd say 8 minutes left to go in the game. Everybody's confused. People's hollering, fix the clock. But anyway, like I said, it was a 6-0 game for the longest. Lafayette was able to score there in the third, and then they added a couple more on late to make it 25-0. I believe first win in a good bit. They were super excited for sure.
What do you have to say about that game we were at last night? What was your take on that one?
Yeah, we went and seen Rockmart. Excuse me, got Rockmart on the mind. Ringgold, the Ringgold Tigers against Dade County. Ringgold kicked off the Dade. It seemed like the first or second play there was a 10-yard run, and then Dade busted one for 15 yards, and then all of a sudden Ringo just kind of that didn't happen no more. It was it was fixed just like that, and the line of scrimmage was won by Ringo there, and the 2 backs from Ringo, quarterback was able to have time to throw the ball, and that's huge. And he was able to hit some receivers downfield, and they got some weapons at Ringo. So I think that Ringo's a solid team. They look like a playoff team to me in that region. How far or how high they'll be is, kind of up to them. They were pretty crisp the other night against Dade. They just couldn't get anything going really and kind of struggled. But I did notice that in the second half there, they got on the scoreboard. So, I know any Dade team, especially when, Coach Poston's at the helm, that they never quit. They're going to keep battling. So just kind of outmatched a little bit last night.
Yeah. That's all I could think about tonight, man, when I was at North Murray. It's October. When you got Rockmart, Ringo, North Murray, North Cobb Christian, LFO, all those guys battling it out,
And Jake says, from what he heard, Carrollton just come out and punched that other team in the mouth, and it was over in the first quarter.
Yeah, I saw a second quarter score. It was like 35-0 with about 9 minutes to go. And I'll be honest, Jake. When I put these the lines together through Cal Preps, it told me Carrollton was a 49-point favorite. And I was like, there's no way Carrollton's beating Woodward Academy by 49. I mean, they beat them by 8 last year. There's no way. Then when I saw that score in the second quarter, I'm like, what in the heck? Those guys at Cal Preps know that I don't.
Yeah, how did they come up with that?
Yeah.
Do have a Rome Creekside's final. 48-28 is the Rome at Creekside final. And like you said, at one point, Rome was up 21 points. Wow. And I wonder what happened that kind of switched the momentum, because for something like that to happen, it's 9 times out of 10, you got to have some kind of big time switch.
Yeah, I was thinking about Rome too, and they're a very young team, especially on defense. I mean, that could play a part.
True. Yeah, that's true. Young but talented, but man, I mean, we're talking about the first game of the year. It's kind of hot out there. I got tired.
Aaron, I have to say, I had the same response when somebody sent me the score. I was like, "Are you sure?" And they had to send me a picture of the scoreboard.
Man, yeah, I think obviously out of everything that I'm looking at, going back over these scores, that's the one that kind of sticks out the most. Although I will give, going back down the list here, Heritage putting 51 on Christian Heritage, that was big, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Fannin getting beat at home 42-24 by Gilmer as something I didn't see coming. Anything else jumping out? I mean, the Haralson County win. I think Haralson ended up adding some more to the score. Thought I seen a final come across there.
Yeah, I know just off the top of my head, man, you got a couple of huge games coming up next week, with the finals tonight. Rockmart will be hosting Cartersville next Friday night. That'll be huge.
For sure. I mean, you're talking about big time battles there.
LFO host Heritage, and North Murray and Northwest Whitfield play each other next Friday night. You want to hit these scores one more time here?
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking for that update that I thought I seen come across there.
Yeah, for all those that just joined us, man, we'll go over the scores one more time here. Some games from last night. Kell beat South Paulden 44-21. Ringgold 38-7 over Dade County. Northwest Whitfield 35-13 over Cahulla Creek. Cartersville shuts out Columbia 44-0. Now Columbia gets to go to Carrollton next Friday night. Woodland Stockbridge 48-13 over Woodland. Carrollton, big win, 48-21 over Woodward Academy. Creekside Rome is a final 48-28. That's what I think Benton said. North Paulton still waiting on a final from that one. 21-13 is what we had in the second quarter. Troup County 42, Villa Rica 31. Central shuts out Spalding on the road 37-0. I think the Lions have a chance to be very, very good this year. You know, their defenses look strong. I mean, they held Hurd to 7 points in the scrimmage a couple of weeks ago. Allatoona 28-0 over Adairsville. LaGrange 27-7 over Cass. Hiram, it was a fourth quarter score 23-6. Jake Keller says North Paulding is up 34-20 in the fourth quarter over Parkview.
Okay.
Gordon Central beats Southeast Whitfield 27-14 in overtime. Gordon Central scored on their possession, and then they had a pick six on Southeast possession to score twice in the overtime period. The game I was at, man, North Murray, Dalton, unbelievable game. I think both teams scored 7 touchdowns combined in the second quarter alone. Rockmart 56, Carrollton 7. Cherokee Bluffs hangs on to beat Lumpkin County 31-21. Pickens 28-20 over Pepperell. Raven 42-6 over White County. Calhoun with a big win, hosting Creekview 28-3. Gilmer upsets Fannin at Fannin 42-24. Heritage putting up the points tonight 51-13 at Christian Heritage. Lafayette 25-20 over Chattooga.
25-0.
Oh, 25-0. LFO 40-0 over Ridgeland. Murray County goes on the road and gets a win at Towns County 14-3. Starts the season 1-0. North Cobb Christian 35-14 over Providence. Sonoraville 42-20 over Model. Darlington was up 21-6 over Mount Vernon when the storms came in the first quarter. No lights at Mount Vernon, so they'll try it again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Haralson County was up on Mount Pisgah in the fourth quarter big.
Yeah, I do have a final in that game.
All right.
Final coming in. Haralson County wins 48-14 over Mount Pisgah.
That's pretty impressive, man, because I don't think the Haralson County offense was that powerful last year. I don't think they scored that many points. Heard County 49-6 over Clarkston. Temple putting up the points tonight 69-40 over McNair. Gordon Lee gets the win 23-20 over Tryon. Fellowship Christian shuts out Bowden 26-0. And Mount Zion beats Chattahoochee 27-6 on the road.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that Haralson County game. I mean, that's just that's a big win for Haralson, and it kind of lets you to wonder, man, who's going to step up and win that region. I mean, it's going to be battles each week. I know you mentioned it a little earlier, but man,
yeah, I don't see a weak spot from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's definitely stronger, in my opinion, than it was last year. For sure.
And on the flip side, when you look up at 7A, that's going to be a battle too, but in the other direction. I mean, everybody looks pretty even at this point,
Yeah, I mean, I think the only team, and I think there were some teams that didn't play, but the only team that we had listed here in that region that got a win was Gordon Lee.
Gordon Lee and Gordon Central.
Yeah, Gordon Central. Yep. That is true. Everybody else kind of took it on the chin a little bit. But, non-region games, I mean, that's what it's for. You go out there, you play the games, see what's going on, and you get better.
Yeah, Central goes to Oxford.
That's a
next week. That'll be a good test for them. Yeah, that was a huge game last year. I think they lit the scoreboard up.
Yeah. See here if I could see another. I was going to check next week's games just to see, besides that, who all else? Had some big games. You have to watch it these days. You'll click flag football because they got that flag football. No offense to the flag football players, male or female.
I've actually watched a little bit of it, man. Going down to the dome, watching those state champions, man, it's actually pretty good, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. I think I have a list here somewhere. Let's see what we got.
I got a couple here. I got Christian Heritage will be on the road at Landmark Christian. Chattooga will be on the road at Cahulla Creek. Mount Pisgah will be at Mount Parham. Darlington will be at North Cobb Christian. Pike County will be at Haralson County. An interesting matchup here to see how everybody kind of stacks up here. Lafayette will travel to Gordon Lee next week.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that should be very interesting to see how those teams go. Pepperell at Adairsville. Ridgeland at Armurchie. I think that could be. Was Armurchie wasn't in action this week, were they?
Nope. They're off tonight.
So that'll be their opening game. Cass at Model. South Atlanta will be at Hurd. Jordan will visit Bremen, and I believe they were off tonight as well. Fannin County, it doesn't get any easier. They'll head to Rabun County next week. Butler will be at Gordon Central. I think Butler made the trip, or Gordon Central made the trip down there last year. Any other big games? Let's see. Southeast Whitfield will be at Coosa. I look for that to be a pretty darn good game. Dade County at Trine. So see if both one of those teams can jump back into the win column. Fellowship Christian has Hebron Christian. And let's see, I think that's all for the smallest classification. You say you had a list written down?
Yeah, I couldn't find it. That sounds about right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I got a few more here. Let's see. Looks like Ranburne, Alabama will be at Mount Zion. Let's see if I can find anything else in our local area here. Already mentioned them. Macon County from Montezuma, Georgia, will be at Bowden. So doesn't really get any easier for Bowden. That's going to be like a top 25 Macon County team that's been pretty good over the past few years.
Yeah, I saw someone made the comment up here that Fellowship Christian's good, but Bowden has a lot to work going forward. You know, it's tough, really. I was telling somebody the other day, you don't find too many teams that win three straight state championships with three different quarterbacks. They've got their fourth quarterback in 4 years starting right now.
I mean, like you can't hit the lotto every time. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to have to work, and I think this may be one of those times. And not saying they hadn't worked before. I'm just saying it's going to be tougher. Let's say that. Let's see. Sonoraville will be on the road at Pickens. That'll be a matchup.
Yeah.
Will be very interesting to see. You said
it's the same with this one. North Murray at Northwest Whitfield.
Oh man, early action that will be good. Kind of stepping out of our area a little bit, but that Fellowship Christian team will be at number 1 Hebron Christian. That could be a battle. See how good they are. The Heritage team that scored a bunch of points tonight will be at Lakeview, which also, put up 40-something themselves. This might be the game of the week in our area next week, and you may know where I'm going with this, but Cartersville on the road at Rockmart.
Yeah.
Does anybody put 56 up in this game?
I'm curious to see where the computer goes with this one because I think Rockmart blew the computer up tonight with that 56-7 win when they were 21-point underdogs. They'll probably have Rockmart as a 45-point favorite next Friday.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. There is your aforementioned North Murray versus Northwest Whitfield. That'll be a good one. Some of these others we talked about. Gilmer will be at Union. Murray will step up a little bit in competition going to Ringo next week. That should be interesting. See the results on that one. And let's see, move on up to the Class 3A.
Yeah, there's a handful of very interesting games on that list. Gilmer at Union. I'm curious to see how Gilmer looks next Friday night.
Yeah, for sure.
After putting that many points on Fannin tonight.
Yeah, I think I've already mentioned, but Pepper will be at Adairsville. That'll be interesting to see if Adairsville can bounce back, or Pepperell as well. Going through the rest of the teams here. Ridgeland and Armurchie, I believe I already called that one off. The Dawson County team will be at East Forsyth, which will be, I think, Dawson County's first action this year. Mount Zion, that's not the right Mount Zion. So about got.
I think the Pickens and Orville game could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the way both teams has played early in the year, I think that I would probably favor Pickens right now, but it could be a very close game. I'm looking
Jake
here. It says, go ahead.
Jake says Cedartown don't run the wing T anymore. You can tell a whole new offense and defense will take time. Not the same Cedartown. I'm sure Tommy Atho will get them straight. What does this say about Bremen after the Rockmart scrimmage you saw? I actually watched Rockmart play Bremen, and I watched them play Temple, and they both played them pretty evenly. I'm not sure.
I hear you.
I tell you what, I sure didn't see 53-7. I can tell you that from watching.
No, I didn't see that. I could see them winning the game. Maybe, by a touchdown or two, but I didn't see no 50-point win. It kind of tells me that maybe Temple and Bremen are going to be stronger than what we initially thought, or even you don't want to go the other way, but maybe Cedartown is struggling a little more than what we thought they would, and both could be the case. So we are talking about high school kids, and we're talking about I know they worked all off season, but really you had 2 weeks of padded practice. Man, there's a long way to go in this season. Next week, Hiram will play at Eastside on Thursday night, so that'll be an interesting Thursday night game. Let's see here. Berkmar will go to Cedartown. I have no idea who Berkmar is, or at least never heard of them. So I don't know if they'll have a good shot at getting back or not. Cass will visit Model. That should be interesting to see because the level of classification change there. Dalton, like you said earlier, will visit North Oconee. That should be very interesting. We'll see if that Dalton offense, what it can get done against North Oconee's D there. Woodland will be at Woodstock next week. Man, they're just trying to get us to trip up. Woodland. They played the other Woodland. Now they're playing Woodstock. It's tongue twisters over here on the Woodland of Cartersville schedule. Altoona will be in action at South Pittsburgh. Altoona got their first win. Altoona's kind of new to our coverage area. Really not that far away. There's teams that were actually probably further, but they snuck in somehow. I don't know. Looking down the list, that's about all I see. Like you said, the Central at Oxford. If you don't have nothing going on, ride over to Oxford. I'm sure that's a very nice stadium. I've never been to the football stadium. I've actually played in the baseball venue before, but that should be a fairly interesting matchup. There should be some points scored there. Do you know where you might be next week?
Maybe LFO. LFO and Heritage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that seems like a good one. I'm sure I'll be at Cahola Creek next week for Chattooga at Cahola Creek. We'll get to see our guy over there. I think he actually missed this last game because of the Thursday night game, so he'll be back on the horn next week. See if the Indians can right the ship. Cahola Creek as well. And then the following week, I'll be looking for a good game. So I don't know what we got going on that weekend, but I'll be looking for a good one to visit because the Indians will be on bye, or early bye in week 3.
That's actually 1 in 2 weeks right there. Carrollton at Rome. But I'm
there
not
you
sure.
Go.
Yeah. I'm not sure how good that game will be, though, huh?
I mean, we did say that Rome was up 21 points at one point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Carrollton looked wild tonight, though. I mean, 35 points on that Woodward Academy team in a quarter and a half with a new quarterback. The Juju days are over, man. I think people were a little worried that Carrollton might take a step back, man, but they look just as good as they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, they pluck them off the trees, it seems like. They grow them on bushes. I don't know where they come from, but they got players, man. They're going to have them. I promise you, they're going to have players. It's going to be it'll be good. I guarantee you it'll be good. They'll have good players. And it's just a matter of how far they can go and who they match up against, because that's going to be the biggest thing is who they see.
Yeah, that 6A is loaded, man. With Grayson, Buford, Douglas County, Carrollton. I mean, you can just go down the list, man. There's probably 15 teams that could win it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I'll have to look when we get off, but I'm curious how our guy Teddy Jarrett did at North Cobb tonight. The North Cobb Christian transfer.
I do not know. I wonder. We had where did he end up?
He's at North Cobb.
Well, I can tell you that they won 35-14, and I have no stats here, so I don't know. Is he starting for North Cobb?
Yeah, he is starting. He actually committed to the Fighting Irish a couple of weeks ago. He's going up to Notre Dame with Jonas Walton.
I got you. Oh, that'll be a good pair. Some North Georgia guys up there. Let's see here. What are we looking at? Midnight. You want to go through the scores one more time before we
we'll
jump out of here?
Yeah, we'll hit one more time before we go.
All righty. Some of the Thursday night scores. Kell defeated South Paulding 44-21. Ringo beats Dade County 38-7. Northwest Woodfield 35-13 over Cahola Creek. Cartersville beats Columbia 44-0. Woodland is defeated by Woodland of Stockbridge 48-13. Carrollton beats Woodward Academy 48-21. Creekside comes from 21 down and beats Rome 48-28. Still didn't get a final. Never saw a final on the North Paulding Parkview. The last we had was 21-13 North Paulding. Troup County defeats Villarica 42-31. Central Carroll beats Spalding 37-0. Altoona defeats Adairsville 28-0. The Grangers from LaGrange beat Cass 27-7. Fourth quarter score: Hiram was beating Paulding County 23-6. Gordon Central defeats Southeast Woodfield in overtime 27-14. The game that you were at tonight, North Murray, and you said Hudson Hewlett, and who else was standouts?
Kane Woods, quarterback for Dalton.
Yeah, Hudson Hewlett and Kane Woods. North Murray defeats Dalton 49-42. Probably the biggest shocker of the night. Not really a huge shocker that they won, but the score, I guess. Rockmart defeats Cedartown 56-7, and that was in Cedartown, by the way. Cherokee Bluff defeats Lumpkin County 31-21. Pickens, the Dragons go on the road, and they beat the Pepperell Dragons 28-20. Rabun County beats White County 42-6. The Yellow Jackets of Calhoun beat Creekview 28-3. Gilmer goes on the road at Fannin and beats Fannin 42-24. Heritage beats Christian Heritage 51-13. The Lafette Ramblers get a win over Chattooga tonight 25-0. Lakeview Fort Overthorpe, the Warriors, correct? With a 40-0 win over Ridgeland.
Oh yeah, the Warriors and the Panthers. Yep.
Yeah. Murray County goes on the road to Towns County and gets a 14-3 victory. North Cobb Christian defeats Providence 35-14. Sonoraville pulls away from Model and wins 42-20. The Darlington game, you said it'll re-tee at 11 a.m. tomorrow at Mount Vernon?
Yes, sir.
So if you were, catching a flight in for the weekend and you're wanting to go see Darlington, they'll be at Mount Vernon at 11 a.m. Got about 3 quarters left to go, and they were up 21-6. Haralson County defeats Mount Pisgah 48-14. Heard County defeats Clarkston 49-6. In a track meet, Temple beats McNair 69-40. Gordon Lee defeats Trine 23-12. Fellowship Christian gets a home win against Bowden 26-0. And last but not least, Mount Zion gets a win over Chattahoochee County 27-6.
Yeah, I know you were real impressed with that Mount Zion quarterback last year, man. He's a junior this year, I believe.
He moved around in the pocket very well. He extended the play. Mount Zion did have a pretty good receiver or two as well. So if they still have that, I know the quarterback's probably still there. I've heard things about the receiver, and I just don't have anybody in that area to confirm. But give it a few weeks, and I'll confirm it because we'll be going down there. And obviously the Indians have got things to work on, but so does every team does. And I guarantee you, even though the Ramblers came out on top tonight, I would say their coaches say they have just as much work on as well. So just the same as any other team. So we can't all win 56-7. Right?
Well, all right, man. I guess we'll be back on with our Pick'em show next Tuesday night. Tomorrow, man, I might get on here and do a little stat show. I know Scott puts together some great stats for us, and we'll go over some of that stuff and see what's going on. But that is if I get the grass cut in time.
You better get that grass cut. Mama will be on you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Until next week.
We here at Northwest Georgia Football would like to thank you for watching. Please join us again soon.